But we're gonna start off with some yoga. So I'm gonna sit them down because I want to talk to you for a second, and then we'll get started with our practice. So let me introduce myself. I'm Katie's cousin. I am Alex Purdy, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. I've been doing yoga for I don't even know how many years, and very seriously for the last 5 years, and it's really made a huge impact in my life. And I want to let you know that if for whatever reason my phone's been acting up a little bit with, I think with everybody using the internet in the entire world, we're struggling a little bit. But if there for whatever reason is some sort of disconnection, me and Katie will reach out with the information about how to reconnect with us. That being said, we're gonna live here in the moment and be here for now. So I wanted to give you a little background about yoga. Yoga is all about connecting the mind with the body through breath, and then through that connection gets harnessed this great energy and this great power to be able to connect and send prayers off to God. And I really, there's different religious aspects to yoga. When I do yoga, I really seriously consider my connection to God, and I use it as a form of prayer, a way of moving through prayer. And if you don't know some of the history, it's pretty cool. Some monks back in the day used to walk through labyrinths and walk around as they were praying. And they used to pray like this with their hands like this, and they would walk around and pray. And I think that connection to that moving prayer is just so important and so exciting. And so I'm excited to bring that to you all. That being said, I want to go over a couple of things. There is a safety aspect to this. While I am a certified yoga instructor, I can't be in the same room with you. In fact, I can't even see my own screen because I'm staring at you all. So I do want to make sure that you all are being cautious and living in your own body. You know, God has given us this one body to live in, and we need to make sure that we're taking care of it. So if at any point anything feels like it is too much, back out of it. There is no reason to push yourself beyond where you need to be today. If you're looking for modifications, I can always reach out to you and talk to you after this class, and I would love to chat with you if you want to figure out a different way to get into a pose. Beyond that, let's get started. So wherever you're at, whether you're on a mat today, whether you're like Katie on some towels, make sure you're being careful, whatever you decide to use, whether you're just using the floor or whatnot. Let's sit down. So you can find yourself in a seated position. If you're more comfortable, you can find yourself in a laying position and lay down on the ground. Wherever you are, just make sure that your back is straight, that you're opening up your chest, and that your neck is feeling long and in control. Now, one of the best ways for us to connect mentally is through our breath. So what I want you to do is go ahead and try to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Now we want to make sure that we're trying to breathe in through our nose. If we're dealing with some sort of allergies or sinuses, you just breathe however you can. But we want to try to breathe in and out of our nose, because that's the way that it's going to calm our body down, control our breath. If we breathe through our mouth, oftentimes when we get stressed, to be honest, we tend to breathe out of our mouth. And the issue that causes is when we breathe in and out of our mouth, it actually heightens our anxiety. It actually heightens, there's this little part called the reticular formation in the back of your spine, and that gets activated, and all of a sudden your mind goes haywire with all these connections going on. And that's not going to really foster the calmness and the ease that we need in our yoga practice to be able to connect and pray to God. So what we want to do is make sure that we're breathing in and out of our nose. Good. In and out. And as I said, yoga is all about that moving meditation, about that moving prayer. So what I'm going to do is have you go ahead and come back down into a child's pose. So we're going to have our big toes touching, our knees apart. We're going to take our forehead down to the ground. And I'm going to sit up so you can hear me, but as you have your forehead on the ground, you can take your arms out, either stretched out in front of you or resting back behind you. As you do this, find a sense of calmness and ease. Now, if you're one that, like, especially right now, I'm having a hard time bending forward, and that's because we've been sitting for so long, especially in this new world order. But if it's too much to bend forward, you can always take 2 fists, put them down to the ground, and then put your head forward. For me, I'm kind of flexible in my legs, so I'm able to get my heels on my butt. But if you need to, you can always take a towel or a pillow and put those in between your legs if that's going to help you sit in this position comfortably. Now, as you sit here, make sure that you're returning back to that breath. Every time that we're in yoga, we need to make sure that we're returning to that breath. In breath in, out breath out. And I want you to go ahead and set an intention or a dedication for this practice, a reason why you're here. And it's been pretty cool. In the last few years, there's been a lot of studies within this mindfulness realm of how important setting a dedication is. And when we pray, when we send those positive thoughts and prayers out into the world, it actually makes a difference. There's studies on it showing that there's huge differences that get made in the world when we do this. So even though you're sitting here alone on your mat, you could be making a difference out in the world. So set an intention for what you want to do today. What's your reason for being here? Are you looking for your own sense of calm? Or are you looking for more peace out in the world, especially as we go through these times right now? Good. Take one more breath in and out. And I want you to come forward and sit on up in a tabletop position. You're going to have your shoulders over your hands and your butt right over your knees. And then we're going to do what's called cat and cow. For cow, we're going to take our belly and press it down to the floor as we reach our chest forward and our head up, looking up the sky. And for cat, we're going to round as if we were a hissing cat. Your back comes up and rounds as your head goes down. So I'll show that again to the side. For cow pose, we're going to drop that belly. Inhale up. And cat pose, we're going to exhale out. And if I were doing this with my little kids, I might say, you might want to moo as you're coming up, and you might want to hiss as you're going out. But as you do this, come forward and back. And this is what we call a flow. And in our flows, you can be as creative as you want. So if you want to take this into other ways, if you want to lift your arms up, if you want to take your body to the side, back and forth, feel free to. Get as creative as you want with any of these flows. A flow is when we connect our breath with our movements and go in a series of positions. So we're going to do several different types of flows. This is our first flow today as we go from pose to pose. Good. Take one more breath in and one more breath out. And then we're going to press up and back into a downward facing dog. So press your hands deeply into the ground. As you bend your knees, slowly let them straighten up and back. So you come into a V-shaped position. Reaching your heels towards the ground, though I doubt for many of us they'll touch the ground. Keep a nice healthy bend in your knees and press back through your arms. You want to try to angle your bottom so it's reaching up. Take another deep breath in here. And exhale out. As you exhale, walk your feet slowly in little baby steps. Try to see how many baby steps you can get up to your hands. And take little steps until your hands meet your feet. Now again, here in this forward fold, I want you to be bending your knees. We don't want to injure our backs. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Your hands don't have to touch the floor, but if they do, that's great. Inhale, reach your chest forward and do a halfway lift. Take and walk your hands up your shins, maybe on top of your legs. And exhale back out. Separate your feet so they're 2 fist widths distance. So put your fists together and put them onto the ground between your feet. And we're going to do what's called ragdoll pose. There's a couple different levels for this ragdoll pose. First level, we can take our arms so that they're sitting on top of our knees, and we can just lift our bottoms up as high as it will go. The second level, maybe you drop a little bit lower and let your upper body stretch over top of your legs. A third level, you might take your elbows and rock side to side. Whatever is feeling good in your body, whether you're here, here, or here, just let yourself relax down into this forward fold. Take one more inhale. And exhale, let your arms dangle down. Inhale up, halfway lift, trying to get that straight back. Exhale, forward fold one more time, just switching into an upward mountain. So coming on up, reaching your body up. Reach your arms up above you. And then exhale as you take your prayer hands to your heart. Good. We're going to start here in our mountain pose, and I want to talk about this mountain pose because it's the place where we find ourselves in yoga quite a bit. And so we need to have a good position for a mountain pose. So I want you to think about a mountain. It's standing firm into the ground. So I want you to really push down into your feet. I want you to feel your legs and hold onto them tight as you constrict and give a little bit power to your lower abs. I want you to take your arms down to the side of you, reaching your palms forward. And then take your shoulders and roll them back so your chest is nice and forward. Lift your head up to the sky. Take that chin in and just chuck it just slightly so you're even just that slightest bit taller. And as you're here, let's just take a couple breaths. And now we're going to do our second flow. So go ahead and inhale your arms up. And then exhale, bend your knees as you fold forward into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, straighten that back as you reach your chest forward. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Take your arms back down to your chest. And this is going to be our flow for a couple rounds. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up, reach up. And exhale, hands to chest. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach that chest forward. Exhale, forward fold. Final time. Inhale, reach that arms up. And hands to chest. Good. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add on to that. So like I said, when we do our flows, we're going to get kind of creative. So I'm going to take you to that next step of that flow. So as you're standing here, I want you to press down into the ground, and we're going to do what's called a sun salutation A. Okay? So just follow along with me on this first one, and then we'll go through it a couple times. Inhale, your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, this time I want you to take your hands and press them down onto the floor as you step back into a plank pose. Now for this, you can be in this plank, making sure that you're fully straight, making sure that you're like a mountain here, Or if you need to, you can take your legs down to the ground into like a half push-up position. From here, you can bend your elbows. And what I want you to do is not bend them out to the side, but bend them in so they brush against your elbows as you go down to the ground. Good. Inhale up to a low cobra. Press your feet down into the ground as you lift your chest forward and up. Exhale, lower down. Let's do that again. Inhale to an upward or a cobra position. And exhale back down. One more time. Inhale up to a cobra position. And if you would like, you can take your arms underneath your elbows and press up to an upward facing dog, pressing your feet firmly down to the mat, lifting your chest forward. And wherever you're at, whenever you're ready, come back to that downward facing dog, that downward V position. Making sure that you got that nice bend in your knees, pressing hard into your hands. Take an inhale and exhale. And slowly step your way up to the top of the mat. When you're here, inhale up to a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up, reach up. And exhale, prayer hands to your chest. Let's do that again. Here we go. Inhale, your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your chest forward. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, take whatever plank position you would like, and then lower yourself down onto the ground. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, step your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up, reach up. Exhale, hands to your chest. Now, we're going to do this one more time, but make sure you're listening to your body. So if you need to take a breath, you need to take a break, you can go back to child's pose. You can lay down on your mat or you can get a drink of water. But let's do this again. Inhale, your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chest up, reach up. Exhale, step your feet back. Inhale, lean your body forward as you exhale back down to the ground. Press your feet into the mat, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, step forward to the top of your mat. Inhale, reach your chest forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up, reach up. And arms down to your chest. Nice job. Now, we're going to do a series of 3 back bends. Back bends open up your heart. They allow you to open up this hip girdle, which oftentimes can be constricted when we're sitting down like this all day. All of that just constricts. And so what we need to do is open it up and allow it to stretch. So I want you to be careful as we do these back bends that you're not like, going way back. I want you to make sure that you're trying to lift up and go forward more than you're actually going back. Because I want you to watch this. I'm going to lift my chest up and lean my hips forward. And I'm not really doing much of a back bend. And yet, if you look, there is still quite a bit of a back bend. So our back bends, anytime we're going back, it should be to lengthen up. So let's try that. First, I want to have you take stop sign hands and turn them upside down as you take them just above your booty. Press your hips forward as you reach your chest up. And this might be as far as you go for your back bend. If you want to go a little bit further forward, press your feet into the ground and let yourself lay back just a bit. Inhale, come on up. And exhale, you can keep your hands where they are, or you can take them forward and do a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, arms up, reach up. Good. Take your hands back down. Shake it out a little bit. And let's do this again. You can either go back to this position, or you can take your arms up and reach up overhead. Take a deep inhale breath in as you reach up, chest forward, and exhale, push those hips as you lean backwards. Try not to go further than we need to. Trying to make sure that you're lengthening that chest forward more than you're going back. Inhale, come back up. And again, exhale as you forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up, reach up. Good, and then take your arms back down to your chest. Now, I've got another option for you. So now, for this third one, you can either take your arms here, or you can do my favorite, which is angel wings. So you're gonna lean your chest, or you lean your hips forward rather, take your arms back to your side, and open up your chest so that your arms are going out. Your chest should be nice and open. Breathe here. And inhale back up, arms up. And fold forward. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up, reach up. And exhale, prayer hands at your chest. Nice job. Let's all get a drink of water real quick. Hopefully you have a water bottle next to you. If not, go grab one real quick. Got some soda water. So as we go into this next series, I want to remind you of your intention, and I want you to be thinking about your intention. I want you to be thinking about, as you're moving through, how you can be praying to God. Listening to my voice guide you through the poses, but also be consistently thinking about the voice that you need to have inside your head. So as we go into this next series, we're going to call this the Warrior Series, because we're going to do a series of 3 different warriors, and I'm going to show you what those look like. So, first, I want you to stand in that mountain position. Arms down to your side. Pressing firmly into the ground with both of your feet. Kind of rock around on your feet. Rock back and forth in circular motions until you come to a steady place in the center. And as you're pressing down into the ground, I want you to press down firmer with your left foot and let that right foot become light as you reach that up. Inhale your arms up and try balancing here. And if you lose balance, come out of it, have a sense of play with it, come back in. And now we're going to move into our next position, our Warrior 1, which we have not done yet. So go ahead and take your foot back if you want to take several steps to get there, or if you want to move through a balancing pose and step your foot back nice and slowly, you can. Now, for Warrior 1, and I'm actually going to flip my feet around so you can see my feet. But as you do this, I want you to have your back heel down on the ground, your front foot pointing straight forward. Your front leg is going to bend as your back leg is fully straight. Go ahead and check your knee in the front and make sure that's directly over your ankle. Check to make sure that you're able to see your big toe. If not, move your leg out further. And then come up and reach your arms up in front of you. Take a second here to appreciate this warrior position, thinking about rooting firmly through your feet as you're pressing down, feeling that warrior energy, feeling that very strong energy. And then as you come up upwards of your body, you're very light, very agile, as if you were a warrior ready to move around and ready to get into that fight. I want you to be light. Good, and then we'll take our back foot and step it back even farther, so that way we can come into warrior two. You're going to angle your body, so now that your top half is angled out to the side, your arms out to the side. This is kind of like you're surfing around, so you should be able to move around still fully feeling that structure in your feet, pressing down really hard in that back leg. Arms out, nice and light, again, as if I were able to move and dodge around like a warrior. Inhale, flip that front palm up, and exhale as you reach your back arm down your leg, reaching up and over with that arm. This is called graceful warrior. I always kind of think of like the Matrix, as they go back and they're dodging. Inhale, come back up to warrior two. Exhale, pivot your back foot up so the toes are tucked underneath and your entire body is facing forward. For our final warrior, I want you to take your fingers up and then gently press off your back foot and put all your weight in your front foot as you come up for warrior three. Trying to make a T shape with the ground. Reaching that back foot, try to take your toes so they're pointing down to the ground. Pressing deeply through both feet, reach forward, and then when you're ready, stand on up. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, reach your arms up. Take your prayer hands to your chest. Let's do the other side. So again, we're going to do the warrior on the other side. So find your way into a mountain pose. Pressing your feet down firmly into the ground. Hold onto your lower abs, palms facing forward, and head nice and tall. Take a second here to just take a breath. This time we're going to press down through our right leg as we lift our left leg up. Again, playing with that sense of balance, just like with our warrior three, just like on the other side, we're going to have some fun with this. Good, and when you're ready, let's go ahead and step back to a warrior one. Pressing down to your legs, your back foot, your back heel down onto the ground. I want you to take your hips so they're facing forward and your arms up so you're facing forward. Check that front knee again. Make sure the knee is directly over the ankle and that you can see your big toe. Take an inhale here and exhale as you open up to a warrior two. Here in your warrior two, press back to that back leg. Feel that sense of ease with those shoulders. Maybe even rotate your palms facing up and feel those shoulders relax, that chest opening up. Arms out, maybe flip your palms back and see if you can keep those shoulders as they were. I want you to stare over that middle finger straight ahead as if you were a warrior staring into the distance, staring down your arch nemesis. And inhale, reach your arm slightly forward, and exhale as you reach your arms up and back. Your back arm reaching back down your back leg into graceful warrior. Take a breath here. And inhale as you come back up into warrior two. Good. Coming to face the front fully again. Tuck those back toes so that your toes, all 10 toes, are now facing forward. Your hips facing forward, your chest facing forward. Take your arms up and above you. And when you're ready, we're going to go into warrior three. Pressing down into your front foot, let that back heel come up and off the ground as you slowly push up into like a T pose. Press back through that back leg, press down through that bottom leg. Try to flatten out your entire spine as much as possible. When you're ready, come on up into a mountain pose. Inhale your arms up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Now let's come down into a ball squat. So squatting down, if you need to, you can always come down to your knees. But ball squat, sitting up on your toes, maybe you come back and sit on your full foot. Whatever you need to find that balance. Coming out, reaching forward, spread your knees wide, and then find your way into a seating position. Let's take a second here and just take a breath. Anytime we do anything high energy, I think it's always good to practice that sense of calm afterwards. Reflect on what happened. Have some humor with what happened. Just let it roll off your back. So no matter how you're feeling at this point in the practice, take it with a sense of ease. Know that you're here. Know that you're loved. Not only by the community that's around you, but by God. And let that resonate through you. As we move into these next poses, we're going to try to open up even further through that heart. We're going to try to open up that heart so that we can feel that openness throughout our body and let that spread through our mind and through our spirit. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and find our way into a laying position on your belly. In this laying position, first we're going to start with our arms back behind us, palms facing up. I want you to lift everything up and come into what's called locust pose. Stretching back through your toes, stretching back through your arms, lift up your legs, lift up your belly. And then exhale, let everything release, taking one ear down to the ground. Take a breath. And then when you're ready, let's do that again. Inhale up, reaching everything up, your legs up, your chest up. Your eyes looking just slightly in front of your mat or whatever you're using. Stretch it back. And exhale, take your head to the other ear. Rest on down on that other ear. And inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good, let's do that one more time. Inhale, everything up, legs back, arms back, chest forward, reaching forward. See if you can even make yourself even bigger. Try to go up even higher with your legs, even higher with your chest. Try to push yourself here. And then when you're ready, go ahead and lay your ear on the opposite shoulder. Take a nice deep breath. In through your nose and out of your nose. Take your hands right beneath your shoulders and press up to a tabletop position. Your shoulders over your hands, your bottom over your knees. Let's do a round of cat and cow. Inhale up. And exhale into cat pose. Inhale up. And exhale. One more time, inhale up. And downward facing dog. Press your knees back, or your hips back, bending your knees, keeping a nice good bend in those knees so you're not pressing too much into that lower back. Take another breath here, inhale. And exhale, slowly walk your feet up to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up, reach up. And hands back down to your chest. Good, and now I'm going to turn to face you because I think we should have some fun here too. Yoga doesn't always need to be serious. We need to have some fun and play around a little bit. So that's exactly what we're going to do now. We're going to do some balancing poses. Now we've already done a couple balancing poses with our legs up and our legs back. This time we're going to do tree pose. Okay, so go ahead and root yourself down into that mountain pose, chest forward, legs pressing down, lower abs engaged, standing up nice and tall. Now for this one, root your left foot down and take your right foot to your ankle. And if this feels good, if you've got enough balance here, maybe you try to take it up to your calf. And maybe if you still feel like you have enough balance, try to take your foot above your knee. We want to make sure to protect our knee that we're not going inside our knee too much. So try not to press in your knees, stand up nice and straight in this tree pose. Now we got to have a little fun, so if this is still too easy, you can take your arms up overhead. You can try to do a back bend, remembering to try to lift your chest forward and up more. Maybe if this is still too easy, you close your eyes. Maybe if it's not easy, you still close your eyes and just have fun with it. Balance is one of those most important things that we need in life. Whether it's here for yoga or whether it's just having balance in our life, making sure that we're not stressing ourselves out too much. Or maybe on the other end, maybe we're not getting enough activity in our lives either. Though I think in today's times, it's definitely the opposite. I think we're definitely stressing a little bit too much. Let's have some fun with it, okay? So go ahead and take your foot forward, reach that foot over and down, and take your arms back down to your sides. Give it a little bit of a shake, shake it out. And let's do the other side. So come back into mountain pose, pressing those feet down into the ground, those lower abs engaged, chest forward, roll those shoulders back. Good. And let's do this on the other side. Coming into tree pose, press down through that right foot as you take that left foot to your inner ankle. Then when you're ready, you can slowly move it up your leg to your desired degree. Having fun with it. And when you're ready, try to play with it. Arms up, maybe back bend, maybe closing your eyes. Woo! You might find that one side is way easier to balance on than the other side. And that's okay. That's part of living in our bodies. Our bodies are certainly not made perfect. So once you've had a little bit of fun with it, reach your left foot out in front of you and step it back down to the ground. Good. Shake it all out. Okay. I've got one more challenge pose for you. And for this, I'd like you to grab a pillow, maybe two. Because we're going to do some crow pose. And I think it's kind of fun just to mix something else in there. And crow pose is a relatively safe arm balance for us to play with. Though again, kind of keep this at your own pace. Try to take it at your own risk. So with crow pose, I'm going to first show you what it looks like. So no one do anything yet. I'm going to first show you what it looks like, and then I'll show you how to get into it. So for a crow pose, I'm going to come up onto my hands and take my feet back behind me. Okay? So let me show you how to get into this. First, let's take our hands like stop signs and stand up on our toes with our knees bent and open out wide. Take those stop sign hands and put it just inside of our knees and beyond our body. Okay? So your elbows should be right about where your knees are. Your hands should be firmly planted on the ground because that's where you're going to be existing for a little while. Your hands are going to be your base. You need to make sure that you get a full base with those. This is where the pillows might come into handy. You might take them just beyond your fingertips. So press into your hands. Lift your toes up so you're unbending your knees just slightly, enough for you to get height. From there, as you transfer weight into your hands, you might take one foot up and then the other foot. And you might just balance there. You might be good balancing here with your feet both on the ground. Maybe it's just one foot. Maybe if you've got it and you can balance here, maybe you try to take 1 foot back. Whatever you do, play with it. Take a couple of turns, just kind of falling forward. Trust the pillows if you need to. You might crash, but at least it's just a pillow. Have some fun with it. If you're like, nope, I'm over this, done with the challenge, thanks Alex, I tried. That's fine. Go ahead and find yourself in a sitting position. We'll take a couple breaths here. Good, and if you're still playing in your crow pose, let's go ahead and come out of it. Find yourself in a seated position. Let's go ahead and move those pillows off to the side. We won't need them. Okay. Let's go ahead and calm our bodies down. So let's go ahead. I'm going to have you go ahead and lay all the way back. Bend your knees. Reach your arms out in front of you and slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, slow as you can, lower yourself down to the ground. When you're down, I want you to go ahead and imagine you're a starfish. Spread your legs out as much as possible. Spread your arms out as much as possible. Relax on down here for just a second. We're going to do a couple other stretches before we move on to our resting pose. Good. When you're ready, go ahead and bend your right knee. Take your left knee up and squeeze it in. Take it slightly out, but then squeeze it into your armpit as if your knee was reaching for your armpit. Take your right knee down so you're stretching out. You might feel a stretch here, you might not. But whatever you do, kind of relax into this pose. Then when you're ready, draw your left knee up and over across your body so that your whole body's slaying on its side. From here, take your left arm and reach it up and back over the side of your body. Getting a nice twist through your spine. When we twist, we actually kind of release some of the toxins that can get into our spine. And we allow our body to kind of filter that out. Good, when you're ready, roll back over to your side and then press yourself back onto your back. Curl yourself into a ball, take both knees into your chest, take your forehead to your knees, and then set both feet back on the floor with your knees bent. Good, this time take your right knee into your chest, reaching it towards your armpit. Knee into your armpit as you take your left foot down this time. And relax into this pose here. Good. This time take your right knee and draw it over across your body. So you're twisting that over. Come all the way around to your side. And then reach your right arm up and over, back across. As you sit here in this twist here, make sure that there's no pain whatsoever. If there's any pain, back out of this. We don't want to compromise anything about our spine. We want to make sure that we're nice and long and pain-free. Then when you're ready, go ahead and reach your right arm all the way back and over and press yourself up into a ball on your back. Taking both knees into your chest, your face towards your knees. Curl up into that nice tight ball. And then exhale as you plant your feet back down on the mat. Good. Take your feet about shoulders width. Press down firmly into the ground and then take your arms down by your sides, almost touching the backs of your heels. I want you to press into your hands and into your knees as you lift your belly up to the sky. Stretching forward that hip girdle that I was talking about earlier. Pressing way up. And then exhale as you go vertebrae by vertebrae, bringing that back down to the ground. Inhale, let's go ahead and press down into our hands, press into our feet one more time. If you've got waterfall or full wheel in your practice, you can do that here if you're feeling warm enough to do so. Otherwise, on your exhale, go ahead and lower yourself down. If you're doing waterfall or full wheel, go ahead and take your time getting there. You can spend as much time as you want there. I'm going to give you the next 20 seconds to 30 seconds or so to do whatever you want, whatever feels good in your body. If there's a pose that you know of that we didn't do, or there's a stretch that you would like to do, you may do that now. If you don't know what to do, I'm going to do Happy Baby so you can follow along with me or do whatever you like, okay? So for Happy Baby, there's a couple options. You can take both knees. You're going to keep your head firmly planted down on the ground, but you're going to try to take your knees into your chest and reach them out into those elbows again. Or not elbows, those armpits again. If you're good here and you want a little bit more, you can always take your hands up to your feet, grabbing onto the outsides or insides, whatever feels better for you, of your feet. You can rock back and forth, forward and back. But whatever you do, try to take that tailbone down to the ground so you get more length through your spine. Take an inhale and an exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good, and wherever you are at, whether you were there in Happy Baby, or whether you were doing another pose, getting ready to cool down, go ahead and find your way into a Savasana, which is where we get into that starfish pose, our legs out wide, our arms out wide. Go ahead and close your eyes if that feels good to you, and take some breaths. You could stay laying down, or you can sit up into a comfortable position. But wherever you go, find your way into a place where you can meditate for the next few minutes. I'm going to be speaking here, and if you find yourself drifting off, let yourself drift off. If you find yourself concentrating on something, you can concentrate. But for right now, I want you to find that peaceful place. I'm going to be guiding us through a meditation.
But if you would rather say a silent prayer to yourself, go ahead. Right now, in the world, there is so much talk of so much darkness. And when we imagine that darkness, I think sometimes we can get enveloped in it. And I believe firmly that is Satan's grip pulling us down back into the world. But we know as Christians that that is not our place. Our place is with God. And we need to make sure that we are remembering that light and that good that God wants us to believe. And when we're able to sit down and have this meditation, have this time to ourselves, we are able to better remind ourselves of that lesson. So as you sit here today, I want you to remember all of God's love, all of God's life, all of God's breath that he gives you. And as you breathe in, I want you to imagine that life, that light filling you. And as you exhale, I want you to imagine that darkness leaving, that stress, that pain, that feeling of despair that the world, that Satan wants us to have, exhaling out of your body. Inhale the light in, and exhale the bad out. Inhale the light in, and exhale all the things that do not serve you out. As you meditate here, I want you to start imagining the things that serve you, that give you hope, give you love, give you life. And as you meditate on this light, I want you to imagine that every cell in your body is vibrating with so much goodness that it starts to glow. And as you have that lightness start picking up pace and growing within you, spreading to each and every one of your cells, I want you to imagine that light growing brighter and brighter and brighter. I want you to imagine yourself being able to glow so much that you start filling the light within the space and the room around you. Brighter than the lights that are turned on, brighter than any shadows could contain. Grow with your brightness. I want you to continue that brightness exceeding outwards into the full house or apartment that you're in, and continuing to expand out onto the street, out into your city, and all over the world. I want you to imagine that prayer, that light, that goodness within you, spreading out more and more. I'm going to give you the next few seconds here without having to hear my voice. And I want you just to imagine and say that silent prayer to yourself, asking God for all that you need, asking God to bless this world that he has for us. it is just about time for me to wrap up. But I encourage you to lay here for longer than the stream goes on. I encourage you to lay here for as long as your body needs to rest and relax. There's nothing you need to go do right now that is more important than this prayer between you and God. So as you lay here, I want you to take your prayer hands up to your forehead. Because today I pray for you kind thoughts to yourself and others. And take your prayer hands to your mouth. Because today I wish for you kind words to yourself and others. And take your prayer hands down to your heart. Because today I wish for you kind actions to yourself and others. Feel free to lay here as long as you can/want. Enjoy the rest of your night. And I thank each and every one of you for sharing this practice with me. I got my sled on. I hope you did too. If you would like to see more meditations, I'm posting a daily meditation over on my Instagram. And I'm sure Katie will post that Instagram again for you if you need to go find it. If you have any questions or want to have a discussion with me, please send me a message over there or talk to Katie. I'd love to have more discussions on this. If you really enjoyed this practice, give that feedback to us as well so that maybe we'll set up another one. Thank you all again. And for all our prayers, I say amen.